PushMap number 3, thinking codes, communication. We all want to be better communicators, don't we? So here are 3 simple ways to become a more effective and powerful communicator. What you want to do is think of these 3 different elements or codes whenever you're communicating. These are some of the best tools that you have at your disposal for reaching people and communicating on a higher level. So first of all is outcome. And this consists of several different elements, but the main idea being you want to be clear when you're having a conversation with somebody, especially about something that's important. You want to be clear about the outcome that you want. You know, are you clear about the end goal or the solution that you're looking for or the next action that needs to take place? And are you keeping it positive? Are you looking for a positive outcome? So keep these things in mind when it comes to communicating is what's your outcome. Next, you want to think about your connection with the person that you're speaking with. So how good are you listening to them? Or what's your eye contact like? Are you what's your body language say to them? Or are you using questions effectively? And are you showing yourself really interested in the other person and what they have to say? That creates a connection and lets the other person know that you value what you're doing right there in communicating with them. Finally, the third thinking code is perspective. This is very important because you need to always be clear about the other person's perspective when they're communicating. It's easy to get wrapped up in your own perspective when you're talking and you're thinking, they should be able to understand this and what I'm saying and my feelings on this and my opinion. But it's also equally, if not more important, to understand what the other person's perspective is, because they have a value and an investment in the communication itself. So you need to find a common ground. You need to make sure that you understand their perspective, that they understand your perspective, and if you need to, illustrations and metaphors can be great tools for helping you to make your point clearer if the words that you're saying aren't doing a good job. So you can use an illustration to explain something that you might want to convey, or a metaphor if that helps. So be clear about your outcome, maintain a good connection with the person that you're communicating with, and make sure perspective, both your perspective and the other person's perspective, is clear in the conversation. Now there are some triggers that you can use to really think about these 3 different codes whenever you're talking. Whenever you're looking at somebody's face, you're probably talking to them or communicating with them, right? So remember, outcomes, connection, perspective. If you hear somebody else's voice, that's another trigger. Think outcomes, connection, perspective. Or if we hear our voice, or if we're shaking someone's hand, or if we're hugging, that means it's almost time to start communicating. Communication is going to happen very soon, very shortly. So think, what's the outcome that you want? Are you maintaining a good connection? And are you maintaining perspective, both yours and the other person's? And you'll need and use these 3 thinking codes whenever you're having general conversations with people, whenever you're problem solving with someone and you're trying to reach a solution. You're going to want to know the outcome, you want to maintain a good connection, and you want to maintain perspective whenever you're solving problems, maybe a problem that you have with somebody else directly with them, or a problem solving that you're trying to do together to address a problem that has nothing to do specifically with any conflict between the two of you. But you want to use these 3 thinking codes in that scenario. Also, negotiating. Whenever you're negotiating, you obviously want to have a clear outcome, you want to maintain a connection, and have a clear perspective. Understand the perspective. Whenever you're having meetings or on phone calls, these 3 elements are equally as important. So, thinking codes, communication. 3 ways to become a more effective and powerful communicator. What's the next action that you're going to take? Well, is it going to be to think about these particular thinking codes whenever a trigger happens, or whenever you're in a scenario where you could use them? Is that going to be the next action? Is the next action to kind of maybe focus on the outcomes whenever you're having a conversation? Or do you want to get better at connecting with people? Or do you want to understand their perspective more, or get better at explaining your perspective? What is your next action to make this particular push map and the content within it work for you?